Hello, my friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family. So, guys, we see everything that's being done, the chess pieces putting into place, and can't help but get this feeling that we are definitely marching towards some really stupid conflict. And again, none of this has anything to do with the will of the people. When you get down to it, most of the people in the world, they just simply want to be able to lead their lives. Most people, I believe, are not really power hungry, money hungry. I think that the majority of people out there can and would get along just fine. I think so often it's really the leaders out there that have these huge egos that just march us forward into an oblivion. And we see it time and time again. So now we have War Provocation 2.0. U.S. vows to assist Ukrainian ships to pass the Kerch Strait, deter Russia in the Black Sea. And so as the Ukraine is moving closer to a second round of presidential elections in which incumbent oligarch / president Petro Poroshenko will face up professional comedian, and you can't make this up, Volodymyr Zelensky. So you got actor against comedian, That's really what we have here as we see the puppets being moved around by the puppet masters. And so the U.S. has started undertaking fresh steps to destabilize the situation in the Black Sea region. NATO is set to guarantee safe passage of Ukrainian ships via the Kerch Strait and deter Russia in the Black Sea. U.S. Ambassador to NATO K. Bailey Hutchison stressed during a press briefing on the 2nd. I think we've been working on a package to present to the foreign ministers, and it's a package that beefs up the surveillance, both air surveillance as well as more of the NATO country ships going into the Black Sea to assure there is safe passage from Ukrainian vessels through the Kerch Straits, the Sea of Azov. It's very important that Romania, Bulgaria, and Ukraine, as well as Georgia, have the security in that Black Sea area for both ships, but also for their land-based safety. She said that these measures are needed in response to the incident between the Ukrainian Navy and Russian coastal guards near the Kerch Strait, which took place on November 25th, 2018. And as we know, ships were seized there. And of course, each side has their opinion on what's happening. And so this is the Maritime Herald talking about the same thing. NATO ships take the Navy through the Kerch Strait to Russia. And then over here out of the Independent, they actually did have footage of a would-be assassin blowing himself up in an attempt to plant a bomb under a Ukrainian agent's car. And a bomb did explode in a Kiev supermarket car park early on Thursday morning in an apparent attempt on the life of a Ukrainian intelligence operative, but which instead left the would-be assassin without a hand. And so there's video there, and he's got his dog with him in the video, and I'll have the links for you guys. And it's like, I don't like anybody ever endangering animals. That's just me. And of course, I don't want people endangering people, which all these chess matches are doing. So Ukrainian elections enter a second round. What to expect as we see them going to the polls. And so are you going to vote for an actor and comedian or basically a puppet who's nothing but another actor? And that's what we have. This is an illusion, and it's an illusion that's not just over there. It's obviously everywhere. And I think we're catching on to it, And look at the hype. Like, look at this right here, conservative buzz. Can Beto O'Rourke run in 2020? Can Trump beat him? It's just cult of personality. It's just hype. When you get down to it, as so many people are making comments, and they're so right when we were talking about the Chinese troops. The old boss is the same as the new boss. It's wrapped up in a new package. But look at what is really happening. Has anything changed? Has anything changed? How farther off course are we than we've been with the other quote unquote administrations? Not really. I mean, it's the same old thing. Although here we see that the military budget is skyrocketing at all-time high, and yet, the deficit is at an all-time high as well. So much for good money, management here, right? And yet we have over in Yemen millions of people starving, and hundreds and thousands of kids starving to death every day, pretty much. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. I think there's so few leaders worth anything in this world, anything at all. And if we had a nice planet, we could just round them all up and send them off to, we go send them to Uranus. That's where they deserve to be. They go stick them on a moon and on Uranus. And, they would be right at home there, because that's all they're worth. They're not even, worth the energy. They're nothing but puppets. They never do anything really good for, progress in so many ways. All we get is the same old, same old. Russia says Crimea lost $23 billion from Ukraine's annexation. And, we see how money always goes missing. I remember, I'm trying to remember who it was now. Was it Dick Cheney? Or no, it was Rumsfeld. Rumsfeld's the one that said, oh, by the way, we lost so many $1 trillion, we just don't know where it went. It went into the secret space program, it went into black ops, those type of things. It went into funding and getting ready for this series of never-ending wars that we see. And the people of the world don't want these things, but somehow we can't seem to voice our opinion at the same time. It's just amazing to watch. Ukrainian troops destroy enemy IFV in Donbass. In case, a lot of us over here in the Western world probably don't realize that there's skirmishes constantly going on between the Ukrainian troops and the Russian troops. So this is just something that's been ongoing. And if you look out of Union, you'll see reports on a daily basis that there's always things going on. If you see this headline here, nearly 270 civilians, including 27 children, killed in landmine blasts in Donbass since the beginning of war. And, as I said before in a different video, which I truly believe, we know that human sacrifice was performed in many different parts of the world back in ancient times and on forward. It perhaps still is. Are these sacrifices to these dark energies, when you get down to it? Is that what never-ending war really is? Just some sort of dark, evil, demonic sacrifice in a way, because this never stops. It never stops. And so when are the people of the world going to wake up and say, we know what you're doing, we get what you're doing, and we're not going to take it anymore? So we're going to demand real change, and if there is no real change, you got to go. It's just that simple. And really, it's all about, the power is really in the people, and if it can leach over and bleed into the military, so that the militaries won't carry out these acts of nothing but barbarism that we see all across the globe being perpetrated by various agencies who are all basically really just puppets when we get down to it. So my friends, as always, like, share, subscribe. Thank you for your support, and I look forward to your comments. God bless, and namaste.